Have you ever stopped to consider how many people go through life on autopilot, repeating the same tired phrases, oblivious to the power of their words? It's mind-blowing how many affluent individuals are unknowingly walking around with biblical principles, potent financial blueprints, playing on repeat in their heads, while so many others are completely unaware of their transformative potential. Sounds crazy, right? But I'm here to tell you the secret isn't about grinding harder, it's about rewiring your thinking, about what you let occupy your mind first thing in the morning. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. These words resonate with me as a declaration of abundance, a constant reminder that scarcity is a mental construct, a self-imposed prison. Most people wake up terrified, stressed about bills, fearing job loss, worrying about providing for their families. This fear is crippling, draining, and a guaranteed roadblock to progress. Repeating this psalm, I've realized it's not just spiritual, it's a practical life hack, trusting that solutions always exist, even when logic points to the contrary. I know firsthand what it's like to live without hope. I dropped out of school, aimlessly bouncing between dead-end jobs, washing cars, changing tires, taking whatever came my way. My income was pitiful, my self-belief, even worse. I felt utterly stuck. But when I shifted my focus, when I genuinely believed I lacked nothing, something extraordinary happened. I started a cleaning business with zero experience, and within a year, I was earning more money than I ever thought possible. It wasn't luck, it was a mental metamorphosis. You see, when you trust, the universe seems to open up unexpected pathways. People think they need to amass wealth to feel secure, it's the opposite. Inner security, that unshakable belief that, I lack nothing, is what attracts prosperity. It's like the world mirrors your emotional state. That's a consistent pattern among the wealthy. They don't start their day fixated on what they are missing, but on what they already have. That simple shift changes everything. Recent psychological studies back this up. Those who cultivate confidence and positive visualization tend to make bolder decisions and achieve significantly better financial outcomes. Research from UC Berkeley showed individuals who believe in their capacity to thrive are 3 times more likely to take calculated risks, the very risks that spawn new opportunities. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? While many remain paralyzed by the fear of scarcity, those who believe, advance. Consider Warren Buffett. He wasn't born a billionaire. But what set him apart was his unwavering belief that he wouldn't want for essentials, propelling him to invest when others were retreating. He trusted in returns, and that trust multiplied into tangible opportunities. I remember a night, working as a firefighter in Toronto, drowning in debt, seeing no way out. I sat staring at the walls, completely lost. Then, I remembered, I lacked nothing. A wave of calm washed over me. For the first time, I stopped focusing on what I lacked and asked, what can I create? What resources do I have right now? That simple shift was like flicking a switch in a dark room. Shortly after, someone introduced me to Think and Grow Rich, and I realized abundance had been within my grasp all along. Maybe you're facing a similar dilemma right now. Staring at bills, debt, fearing the future. But if you keep feeding that inner scarcity, what do you expect to reap? The outer world reflects the inner. The question is, are you cultivating the certainty that you lack nothing, or are you feeding the beast of fear? I challenge you to a simple exercise. For the next 7 days, before checking your phone, before thinking about work, repeat to yourself, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. But don't just say the words, feel them as a present reality. Visualize debts dissolving, resources flowing in, opportunities unfolding. Do it with intention. You'll notice a shift in your energy, and people, situations, and ideas that were previously invisible will begin to emerge. This psalm isn't just ancient poetry, it's a mental key. And when you internalize that key, the fear of lack dissipates, replaced by a confidence that attracts prosperity. True wealth doesn't begin when your bank account overflows, but when you understand you already possess everything you need to create abundance. After all, you lack nothing. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season, his leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. This psalm is one of the most perfect descriptions of prosperity I've ever encountered. It's not about frantically chasing money, about burning yourself out on meaningless pursuits. It's about being in the right place. A tree can withstand scorching sun and fierce winds, but if it's near water, it thrives, grows, and bears fruit. Now think, how many people do you know who work hard, dedicate themselves, but never truly prosper? The reason is simple: they're in arid soil, in purposeless work, in draining relationships, in thoughts that stifle creativity. When I reread this psalm, I remember working at gas stations and factories. I toiled, worked overtime, but deep down, I knew I wasn't progressing. I was watering barren land. The turning point came when I found my purpose, helping people transform their mindset about wealth. Suddenly, superhuman effort wasn't necessary, the energy flowed naturally. Have you ever felt utterly drained because what you do is meaningless? And have you felt that same work fly by when you're doing something you love? That's the difference between being in the right place. Oprah Winfrey is a prime example. She rose from extreme poverty, surrounded by hardship, but she aligned her work with her mission to inspire. When she positioned herself by that wellspring of purpose, her career blossomed, and the fruits came abundantly. Today, she's not just one of the wealthiest women in the world, she's one of the most influential. See? The money was a consequence of being in the right place. Science corroborates this. Gallup research shows people working in alignment with their talents and passions are 6 times more engaged and 3 times more likely to have a high-quality life. Furthermore, they exhibit higher rates of financial well-being. This proves prosperity isn't born of blind effort but from the alignment between what you do and who you are. I remember opening my first cleaning business. It wasn't because I had experience or because it was my lifelong dream. It was because, at that moment, it was the fertile ground available. I established myself there, nurtured it, watered it with discipline and dedication. And soon, the business began to bear fruit. From there, I found even more fertile ground, teaching, writing, speaking. See how a tree doesn't start as a mature giant? First, it finds enough water to establish roots, then it grows. Prosperity is a process, not an instantaneous event. This psalm also conveys a powerful message: fruit comes in its season. Many crave instant riches, impatient to grow. But a tree doesn't bear fruit in winter. It waits for the right time. How many people have you seen give up before their season arrives? It's like pulling a seed from the earth because it hasn't sprouted quickly enough. The result is always the same: frustration and scarcity. But those who remain steadfast by the right waters will inevitably produce fruit. I want you to reflect: where are you planted today? Are you watering a job, a routine, or a relationship that has no chance of flourishing? Or have you found your source of purpose, but lack the patience to wait for your season? I propose a challenge. Over the next 30 days, honestly analyze your daily life. Ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to or further from my purpose? Is this soil fertile or barren? Write these answers in a journal. At the end of the period, you'll see clear patterns and might discover it's time to transplant your tree to more fertile ground. This psalm isn't just about religion, it's about a universal law: the environment you plant yourself in determines the fruit you'll harvest. If you choose the right rivers, you can be sure everything you do will prosper. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? This question echoes as a challenge to us all. Fear is the arch-nemesis of dreams. It doesn't need to destroy you immediately, it just needs to paralyze you a little each day. How many opportunities have you missed because fear spoke louder? The fear of failure, of losing money, of judgment, of not being ready. And deep down, you know that fear never disappears on its own. It must be overcome by the light of confidence. I experienced this intensely. After a table saw accident severely injured my thumb, I thought my future was over. I was young, uneducated, unskilled, and at that moment, it felt like everything had ended. The pain wasn't just physical, it was emotional. I felt incapable, believing I had nothing left to offer. That's when this verse came alive within me: if the Lord is my light, why should I fear? I could have given up, settled for a modest life, but I chose to believe a path still existed. That decision, not to let fear control me, opened the door to new opportunities, like my first encounter with Think and Grow Rich, the book that changed my trajectory. Fear is peculiar, it seems to protect, but actually limits. How many people do you know who stay in jobs they hate just because they fear taking risks? How many avoid starting a business or investing in something new because they can't bear the thought of losing? And the irony is, in trying to avoid failure, they end up living a mediocre life, far from any fulfillment. Isn't that the biggest failure of all? Science clearly demonstrates this. Researchers at the University of Cambridge discovered excessive fear activates brain areas linked to self-preservation, causing people to always choose the safest path, even at the cost of greater opportunities. In other words, fear shrinks you. But those who can manage that emotion and act despite it are the ones who truly progress. A remarkable example is J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she faced poverty, depression, and rejection from numerous publishers. If she'd let fear paralyze her, the world would never have known her work, and she wouldn't have become one of the richest and most influential women in literature. She turned light into action and didn't let the darkness of fear win. Fear is inevitable, but the question is, will you let it dictate the course of your life? I remember nights when I considered giving up, accepting a mundane life without great ambitions. But each time I recalled this psalm, it was like a flame igniting within me. I'd repeat to myself, "Whom shall I fear?" and it gave me the courage to take the next step, even without all the answers. I propose something practical. Think of a decision you've postponed because of fear. It could be a project, a career change, an important conversation, or even an investment. For the next 7 days, write daily, "The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear?" and, below it, take a small step toward that decision. It doesn't have to be grand, just a movement. You'll notice that with each step, fear diminishes, and confidence grows. This psalm teaches us that light always overcomes darkness, but it only shines when you choose to act. Fear will keep trying to paralyze you, but if you choose to walk with confidence, you'll discover there was far more within you than you imagined. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward despite it. This is the day that the Lord hath made, let us rejoice and be glad in it. These words hold immense power when truly understood. Most people waste the first minutes of their morning complaining. The alarm goes off, and instead of thanking the universe for another day, they grumble about sleep, a job they hate, bills they need to pay. It's like they program their minds for scarcity before they even get out of bed. But those who understand the power of this psalm know that the start of the day is the key to the rest of the hours. No matter what happened yesterday, this is the day made for you to live, and how you choose to begin influences everything. I learned this firsthand. There was a period in my life when I woke up unenthusiastic, weighed down by debt and uncertainty. Each morning was a reminder of the limitations I carried. But when I started my day with gratitude, something shifted. Instead of focusing on what was lacking, I started focusing on what was already good, my health, my ability to learn, the small opportunities that arose. And the energy I carried attracted more opportunities. It's as if the universe responded to how I chose to react early on. Science confirms the impact of gratitude. Research from UC Berkeley showed that people who keep gratitude journals not only feel happier but also exhibit higher levels of motivation and even greater financial stability. That's because gratitude alters how the brain perceives the world. Instead of fixating on problems, it begins to identify solutions and opportunities. That's why the wealthy value this principle so much. They understand it's not money that creates gratitude, it's gratitude that creates more money. Will Smith is an example that always comes to mind. For years, he's spoken publicly about his daily practice of cultivating gratitude as a tool to manage the pressures of fame and business. This habit helped him build a solid and resilient career, even in the face of criticism and setbacks. His living proof that celebrating the day, regardless of circumstances, strengthens the mind and supports great achievements. I also remember a personal episode that deeply affected me. During a difficult period, without money or prospects, I sat on a park bench and mentally listed 10 things I could still be grateful for. At first, it seemed ridiculous because all I wanted to do was complain. But as I recalled each detail, from being able to breathe to having 2 legs to walk on, I felt a surge of hope that didn't come from outside, but from within. That's when I realized, true wealth doesn't start in the bank account, it starts in a grateful heart. And maybe you're going through a tough time right now, where your first reaction upon waking is to complain. But tell me, what good does it do to start the day carrying a weight that will only drag you down further? Life will always have challenges, but you can choose whether you'll be a slave to difficulties or decide to view the day as an opportunity. I propose something practical. For the next 7 days, as soon as you open your eyes, repeat aloud, "This is the day the Lord hath made, let us rejoice and be glad in it." Then, write down 3 things you're grateful for. It doesn't matter if they are big or small. Do this before checking messages, social media, or news. By the end of the week, notice how your energy has changed, how your conversations have become more positive, and how even your decisions have become bolder. This psalm isn't just an invitation to celebrate, it's a powerful strategy for transformation. When you choose to rejoice in today, you make space for abundance to find you. Wealth doesn't flourish in bitter or complaining hearts, but in minds that recognize each morning as a new chance to prosper. And that's what differentiates those who advance from those who stagnate, the ability to be grateful and rejoice, even when they don't yet see all the fruits. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. This psalm carries one of the greatest lessons about prosperity anyone can learn. True wealth isn't just in the money you accumulate, but in how you choose to use the time you have. Most people live as if they were immortal, wasting hours, days, and even years on activities that add nothing. How many times have you caught yourself spending hours in front of the television or scrolling through your phone without realizing it? And then complain that you don't have time to invest in yourself, to learn something new, or to build a better future. The problem isn't a lack of time, it's a lack of wisdom in using it. This verse made me reflect a lot during times of transition. I remember when I was starting my cleaning business. I had no formal education, no resources, but I had one thing, the same time as any millionaire or billionaire. 24 hours a day. I could waste them, as I did before, complaining and letting chance take over, or I could learn to count them and apply them productively. When I started using my mornings to study, plan, and act instead of wasting time on distractions, I saw my life change at an impressive speed. Science reinforces this. Researchers at Stanford University discovered that people who plan and organize their use of time tend to have greater professional success, better mental health, and higher levels of life satisfaction. It's no coincidence, time is the one resource that cannot be recovered. You can lose and gain money again, but every wasted minute is a piece of your life that doesn't come back. An example that illustrates this truth well is Steve Jobs. He himself reported that when faced with the reality of death, he began to see each day as a unique opportunity. This awareness led him to create products that changed the world because he began to live with urgency and clarity. And that's what the psalm teaches us. Counting the days doesn't just mean knowing they are passing, but understanding that each day is a precious coin that can be invested in something grand or wasted on things that lead nowhere. I remember a personal situation that still moves me. Once, I spent an entire afternoon observing how much time I used to waste on meaningless conversations and futile distractions. When I realized it, I was shocked. If I continued like that, I would never achieve what I wanted. It was like an epiphany. Unlocking your potential, from self-sabotage to abundant living. We all crave a life brimming with success and fulfillment, but sometimes we unknowingly erect invisible walls that prevent us from achieving our goals. It's like having a secret saboteur inside, whispering doubts and creating obstacles just as we're about to break through. This inner critic, fueled by limiting beliefs and ingrained patterns, can keep us stuck in a cycle of almost but not quite, preventing us from reaching our full potential. Think about it. How much time do you waste on unproductive activities? How many projects remain unfinished, casualties of self-doubt? The truth is, we all have the same 24 hours, the difference lies in how we manage them. Start by becoming acutely aware of your time usage. Track your daily activities for a week, the productive, the distracting, the downright time-wasting. This simple exercise will illuminate where your energy is truly going, allowing you to consciously redirect it toward your aspirations. This isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. This isn't merely about managing your schedule, it's about reprogramming your mind. Many of us carry limiting beliefs, often absorbed in childhood, that whisper messages like, money is evil, success is for others, or, I'm not good enough. These insidious narratives can sabotage our efforts even before we begin, leading to procrastination, self-sabotaging behaviors, or even physical ailments that mysteriously appear when we're on the verge of a breakthrough. It's a defense mechanism, a subconscious preference for the comfort of the familiar, even if that comfort is stagnation. The good news is, this isn't a life sentence. Breaking free starts with self-awareness. Identify those internal roadblocks, those negative voices that hold you back. Challenge them. Replace those limiting beliefs with empowering affirmations. Start small, but be consistent. Repeat positive statements daily. It's about rewiring your brain, creating new neural pathways that reinforce a more positive and abundant mindset. Think of it as upgrading your internal software. This isn't a quick fix, it's a journey of self-discovery and transformation. Just as a plant needs sunlight to thrive, your spirit needs to shed the shadows of self-doubt to flourish. Believe in your ability to succeed, to deserve abundance. Visualize your goals, and take small, consistent steps towards them. Celebrate your wins, learn from your setbacks, and never give up on your potential. My own journey has been a testament to this process. I've experienced the frustration of near misses, of opportunities slipping away due to self-sabotaging behaviors. But by consciously challenging my limiting beliefs and replacing them with empowering affirmations, I've unlocked a new level of success. Remember, you are capable of far more than you realize. The power to create the life you desire lies within you. Take the first step today. Embrace the journey, and watch your life transform. Join me in the next video, where we'll delve even deeper into this transformative process. I'll see you there.